If you want to know what a man's like, take a good look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends. It is impossible to live without failing at something, unless you live so cautiously that you might as well not have lived at all, in which case, you fail by default. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living, and, above all, those who live without love. Just because you have the emotional range of a teaspoon doesn't mean we all have. Numbing the pain for a while will make it worse when you finally feel it. Wit beyond measure is a man's greatest treasure. We are only as strong as we are united, as weak as we are divided. Indifference and neglect often do much more damage than outright dislike. It is the unknown we fear when we look upon death and darkness, nothing more. I don't go looking for trouble. Trouble usually finds me. Books are like mirrors. If a fool looks in, you cannot expect a genius to look out. We do not need magic to transform our world. We carry all the power we need inside ourselves already. Let us step into the night and pursue that flighty temptress, adventure. Fear of a name increases fear of the thing itself. I don't believe in the kind of magic in my books. But I do believe something very magical can happen when you read a good book. It is my belief that the truth is generally preferable to lies. Of all the trees we could have hit, we had to get one that hits back. Things we lose have a way of coming back to us in the end, if not always in the way we expect. Understanding is the first step to acceptance, and only with acceptance can there be recovery. Honestly, if you were any slower, you'd be going backward. Youth cannot know how age thinks and feels. But old men are guilty if they forget what it was to be young. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. I'm going to keep going until I succeed, or die. Don't think I don't know how this might end. I've known it for years. Differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our aims are identical and our hearts are open. There's always room for a story that can transport people to another place. There is no good and evil. There is only power and those too weak to seek it. The mind is not a book, to be opened at will and examined at leisure. Thoughts are not etched on the inside of skulls, to be perused by an invader. The mind is a complex and many-layered thing. Time will not slow down when something unpleasant lies ahead. What would come, and you would have to meet it, when it did. As is a tale, so is life, not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. Destiny is a name often given in retrospect to choices that had dramatic consequences. Failure is so important. We speak about success all the time. It is the ability to resist failure or use failure that often leads to greater success. I've met people who don't want to try for fear of failing. I don't think there's any harm at all in allowing a kid to fantasize. In fact, I think to stop people from fantasizing is a very destructive thing indeed. Imagination is the foundation of all invention and innovation. It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. Life is difficult, and complicated, and beyond anyone's total control, and the humility to know that will enable you to survive its vicissitudes. Secretly, we're all a little more absurd than we make ourselves out to be. Sometimes, you have to stop trying to force it, walk away and let your subconscious show. The knowledge that you have emerged wiser and stronger from setbacks means that you are, ever after, secure in your ability to survive. The world is full of wonderful things you haven't seen yet. Don't ever give up on the chance of seeing them. We're all human, aren't we? Every human life is worth the same and worth saving. But you know, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, if one only remembers to turn on the light.